Hey guys, I am in Harlan City. I'm gonna get my mail and then I'm gonna walk around town and I'm gonna show you some places and explain what they used to be, like what used to be there back in the day. So join me. Remember to like and subscribe. So let's just start at the post office. Yep. I don't care what they say. In Harlan County, there is no more beautiful post office. It's very nice. This post office has been here since, there's the cornerstone right there. Okay, yeah, I could have sworn that there was a date somewhere, but I can't find it. But it has been here for a long time. I know ever since I was little. It has been here, and it was here long before that. So yep, there is the Harlan Post Office. And right across the street over here, the Hendrickson building, that used to be the bus station. Yes, buses would enter on that side and come out on that side. Right there is what used to be the Bank of Harlan. This was the first Bank of Harlan that was built. There were of course different branches. There was one up on Mound Street and there was one out at the mall. But this one was built during the peak of the Depression, which was interesting. This building right here, just down the street from the post office, was called the Green Mill Building because right there, that corner spot, that was a pharmacy, Green Mill Pharmacy. Right across the street over here, that is now the Harlan Beer Company. And it used to be a place called Santa's Place, where they did, Christmas all year round. And I'm not exactly sure what it was before that. Now, between Santa's Place and the beer company, there was also Bissell's. Right here used to be Jay's Sandwich Shop. And you can kind of still see where the letters used to be. And that's where my grandmother worked for years. Jay's Sandwich Shop. And I used to have breakfast there every morning when I was going to school. Right there used to be Pennington's Grocery. And there was actually a butcher in there. And if I'm not mistaken, his name was Butch. Right here, where the possum is, and the anxious hippie back there, this used to be a taxi cab company. Yep, there was a little building that sat right there, and they would park right around here. And that building right there, there's something coming, don't exactly know what. That used to be Modern Electric. This building right here was a pawn shop. Right next to it was Four Seasons Tanning Salon. Yeah, I spent a many a evening in there. Yeah, I used to lay in the tanning bed, okay? And right here, where this big white wall is, this was Newberry's. And right there on the corner was the Bargain Banner. And that corner, where the portal is, that was Harlan National Bank. Right here where this lawyer's office is, it used to be a clothing store. And this column right here used to be Mirror all the way around. That building right across the street, down here on the corner, used to be Dr. Ocampo's office. And upstairs there were offices, and at one time there were apartments. And at one time, the lady who did my hair, who cut my hair, she had a shop up there. Her name was Jeanette Martin. Her shop was called the Main Attraction. Then, after she left that shop up there, she moved her shop down here. Right here, it was called the Main Attraction. And that was back when VO5, Vidal Sassoon, and all that was big. And where this attorney's office right here is, was also part of Newberry's. That was like a, kind of a little junk store. A little more expensive than the dollar store, but yeah, Newberry's. Where the Harlan pawn shop is now, at one time, it was a Dollar General store. That was when I was really little. And right next to it, that little place right there, that used to be Movies to Go. And then right there, that building that's dilapidated, it used to be Abraham's Music. And now Abraham's Music has moved across the street over here, where it used to be Harlan Paint and Wallpaper. Right here, you can still see what it used to be. V&J Pawn Shop. It was Vernon and Juanita. And right here used to be a hotel. After it was a hotel, it was Powers and Horton's, which was a clothing store. And when they made that movie, what was that movie called? Above Suspicion. They put that on the window for the Pikeville Hotel because it was supposed to have been in Pikeville, but they filmed it here. And right there is Sunwoods. Brenda Gergley owns this store, and she has owned it ever since I can remember. And it's been here ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And right over there, Harlan Check Exchange or Cash Express, whatever it's called. That used to be the Dollar General. After it moved from up the street, it moved down here. Right here used to be a little restaurant. And I can't exactly remember the name of it. If anybody's from here and they remember it. No, I do remember it. It was called Townsite. Townsite Restaurant right there. Right beside a Townsite used to be a pet store. And right here, right on this corner here, right here, used to be a pet store. And on back there used to be a building that was once a movie place, you know, where you could rent movies. And then it was the Harlan City Police Department after they moved from up here off of Clover Street. And there's the Harlan Center. And you used to have a bunch of stores down this way. If I'm not mistaken, Lee Furniture was one of them. And another store called Payne's Fashions. And as far back as I can remember, this has always been a church. Back when I was in Boy Scouts, we used to meet in this room right down here with these two windows. And sometimes we would come out here on this little lawn and play games like Red Rover and all that stuff. And right here where the Harlan Justice Center is was the old Harlan City Police Department, and right next door to it was the fire department. So it was around right here that you would walk in the door of the Harlan City Police Department, and then right on down here, I'm thinking probably right about here is where you would walk in the door of the fire department. Now across the street, right there where there's nothing, that used to be Ford Motor Company. Then after that it was Napa Auto Parts. And that right there has always been apartments in the top, but at the bottom it used to be a security company called Securex. And right over there in that space where there's nothing used to be the garage, one of Ford Motors garages. Then after that it was Bingham Auto Mart. And after that, Mr. John Jones over there of Anderson Laws, Jones Funeral Home, bought that, and he's got him a parking lot now. Now right through here where it's fenced off at the back of the Justice Center here, this used to be apartment buildings, and Jeff Brock's law office was right here. Now right there about where that gazebo is sitting was where Kentucky Utilities used to be. And you go there and of course, you know, you pay your electric bill. And this street right here, well now it's only a driveway, but it went all the way through. And right on the other side, right in here, was the jail. Yes, and it was attached to the courthouse. Now, I know you're saying, wait a minute, that would have been an awfully small jail. Okay, well it really wasn't, because it was tall. It was like 6 stories tall. It was taller than the courthouse. And right there, where that window is, right there, was the door. That was the door that led over to the courthouse. And right there at Inked Up, which is now a tattoo parlor, used to be Kentucky Mines and Minerals. That was when I was little. Then before that, it was the Margie Grand Theater. Now that right there, David R. Turner Law Office, that used to be, it's been a few different things. It was a place where they sold candles and stuff like that. And before that, it was an insurance company of some kind. And right here where that big green metal wall is, that was Creech Drug. They had food and all that stuff. Plus, you know, they, Dr. Fred, I think it was Fred Howard, was the one who filled the prescriptions and stuff. And I remember having lunch a lot down here as a kid. My grandmother would bring me here. I wrote about that in my book too. And in my upcoming novel, It's Got a Spot. And right there is Jules by Jordan. The lady who works in there, Teresa, is an extremely lovely person. I have bought jewelry from her, and she's ordered special things for me over the years. She has cleaned my jewelry. I remember I had a ring one time that my mom and dad bought me, and you know, rings, diamonds and stuff, they get tarnished, and I hadn't worn it in a long time, so I had her clean it. She done an awesome job. She's done resizing of stuff for me, just awesome. And right there, of course, the Bank of Harlan. Now it's a counseling center, but it still interests me how this was built during the peak of the Depression. And this monument that's been here since 1941 has had some redo because somebody ran a car into it right there. And you can still tell that it looks kind of new compared to the other, but after it's weathered, you're never going to be able to tell it. But that's been here since 1941, you know. A little side note, when I was little, my dad was deputy jailer, worked over there in the jail. My mom worked at the police department, and she always worked the third shift, you know, at night from 10 to 6. And so during the day, I would get my scooter. Yes, it was one of those scooters, you know, that you have to, you know, push with your foot and it goes. And they would tell me not to get out of the courthouse yard here because it was the evening, you know, none of the offices were open or anything, but I'd ride my little scooter around. Well, one day I got out on this sidewalk and I thought I was going to jump off this right here because I was going to be Daredevil. Yes, I was young. And so from the top of that street right there, all the way down through here, rode it. But yeah, right here, you see how this is, don't know if you can see it or not, but it kind of has a little curve in it right there. Yeah, I ended up falling right here, skinning both my knees, and there were some old dudes that were sitting right here on this ledge here, and they were just looking at me, kind of didn't know what to say to me, And I just looked up at him and I'm like, oh, it's okay. It happens all the time. But I was wanting to cry because it hurt so bad. Oh, look at the roses. But yeah, anyway. And there is the coal mining monument. That's been here since, when was it? I do not see a date. I know it was County Judge Executive Delzina Belcher, and she has not been County Judge Executive for a long time. She's actually passed since then. But I do not see a dedication date. Let's walk around the other side, because of course there are names on the other side too. And whoa, that's some coal. Yep, don't see the date. But anyway, yep, there it is. Been there since I was little. Over there used to be oh shoot, something Turner Boggs. It was a law office. I can't remember the first name. Anyway, and then right there where there's nothing and there's that fence, that was Johnny Turner's law office. That was also apartments above it. And there was a dentist's office on the street right here. And that was my first dentist. Dr. Landis. He was amazing. He was awesome. If I am not mistaken, right through here, because the road came out about right here would have been Fuller's, which was a furniture store, or it might have been Lee Furniture. It was one of the two. And then there was on the corner was a photography shop, and on down through there was Ackley's Diner. And Harlan Community Television there has been here since, well, since forever that I can remember. I have been out here so long and I haven't even covered half the town. So, one last thing before I end this video. Right over there where you see that Appalachian Wireless, that vape shop, the package store, and right there is the Huddle House. That used to be Ackley Hotel, and Curtis Mathis, which was like an electronic shop where you buy TVs and stuff like that, and you could also rent movies in there. But yeah, this is part of the history of downtown Harlan, and yeah, I'm gonna have to make another video. Shoot. But anyway, please like, please subscribe, please share my videos, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.